I want to, but I can't.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the TV characters who took what felt like forever to finally kiss on screen.
What are you doing?
You just stand still?
Number 30, Sheldon Cooper and Amy Farrah Fowler, The Big Bang Theory. Although she wasn't introduced until the long-running sitcom's third season, Mayim Bialik's neuroscientist was a perfect match for Sheldon Cooper.
I'm being blackmailed with a hidden dirty sock.
If that was slang, I'm unfamiliar with it. If it was literal, I share your aversion to soiled hosiery.
While she planted a smooch on him while under the influence in season 4, it wasn't reciprocated, and may have even further delayed their very real connection. It wouldn't be until season 7 that the fireworks really went off between Amy and Sheldon. Their first kiss came in the middle of a classic Sheldon tantrum.
Now let's gaze into each other's eyes. You blinked, I win. Let's see, what's next? Oh, kissing's romantic.
Then, of course, it became the real thing. It's the kind of first kiss only Sheldon Cooper could manage. It was a sarcastic joke until it became reality.
That was nice.
Good.
Number 29, Oliver Queen and Felicity Smoak, Arrow. This CW superhero series follows Oliver Queen, a billionaire-turned-vigilante who begins fighting crime and corruption in Starling City. Early in the series, he meets and works closely with IT expert Felicity Smoak.
I was at my coffee shop surfing the web, and I spilt a latte on it.
Really?
Yeah,
Because these look like bullet holes.
my coffee shop is in a bad neighborhood.
Fans waited eagerly as the two flirted shamelessly for 2 seasons. Then, in the 3rd season premiere, they finally got their wish. The two went on their first date, only for Oliver to realize he can't be a superhero and the man she deserves.
Stop dangling maybes. Say it's never going to work out between us. Say you never loved me.
Their first kiss feels like a painful goodbye. Luckily, fans wouldn't have to wait too long for them to come to their senses.
I couldn't be the arrow and be with you. I want to be with you.
Number 28, Janine Teags and Gregory Eddy, Abbott Elementary. It was clear from the pilot episode that Mrs. Teags and Mr. Eddy were a perfect match. But like any will they or won't they TV relationship, they had a few hurdles to clear first.
I was gonna wait for my boyfriend to finish his show to eat, but no. I'm hungry now, so I should eat now.
Season 2 of the runaway hit sitcom constantly teased us with their inevitable pairing. After all the false starts and fleeting looks, the two finally had their first kiss at a teacher's conference. It all went down in the middle of a classroom full of flowers. When the chemistry is explosive from the start, even 2.5 seasons can feel like a lifetime of waiting.
We got caught up in the moment.
That's what she said about it. Just two friends getting caught up in the moment.
Number 27, Amy Sosa and Jonah Sims, Superstore. The employees of big box store Cloud9 had a lot to contend with. Shoplifters and corporate shenanigans are crazy enough. Workplace romance is another thing entirely.
The thing about this structure is it's really solid, you know. It's very strong, it's very sturdy, it's
very sexy.
Sales associate Jonah Sims was down bad for supervisor Amy Sosa from the start. It wasn't until a tornado trapped them in the store that they were forced to reveal their feelings for each other. Because nothing says romance like flying debris and a falling ceiling. Of course, they try to play it off as no big deal. But if this list proves anything, it's that two characters kissing on a TV show is like opening Pandora's box.
That was an accident, but
we didn't
Yeah.
mean to do that. Was
yeah,
like,
it was you were going in.
Guys, something just happened!
Number 26, Jake Peralta and Amy Santiago, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Jake Peralta and Amy Santiago's first kiss was a spur-of-the-moment decision, but they were undercover, so it didn't really count, right?
NYPD, freeze! We are police colleagues!
You're under arrest! This is a work event!
Well, they cleared up the confusion in the filing room later in the episode, and it was enough to make fans' hearts start pounding. While it was an intense and dramatic scene for such a hilarious show, it was another story behind the scenes. Andy Samberg and Melissa Fumero were living up to the show's madcap goofiness off camera. Apparently, to make their kisses less awkward, the two actors ate food that would give them bad breath.
You're gonna go to the Polish place and get pierogies, potato pancakes, and a cup of hot chocolate.
That's exactly what I'm gonna get.
Yeah. I will be having pizza, 2 slices of meat supreme from Tony's, served display temperature.
Number 25, Jim Halpert and Pam Beesly, The Office. From the moment Jim told us he knew Pam's favorite flavor of yogurt, it was over.
Jim said mixed berries? Oh, wow. Yeah, he's on to me.
With their matching senses of humor and longing glances at each other over their computers, their budding love story was so cute it was almost annoying. It got to the point that every romantic partner they had outside of the relationship just made us angry. Then we got to season 2, 21 episodes after what happened at the Dundies, and with the documentary cameras peeking through the office blinds, Jim finally worked up the nerve to kiss Pam. We smiled, and then we breathed a huge sigh of relief because waiting for that one almost killed us.
I'm in love with you.
What?
I'm really sorry if that's weird for you to hear, but I need you to...
Number 24, Joyce Byers and Jim Hopper, Stranger Things. When we first met Joyce, she was not doing well. She was frantically searching for her missing son, Will, and forcing the exhausted and weary police chief, Jim Hopper, to take her seriously. But over 4 seasons, monster invasions, and being held captive by the Russians, the two grew very, very close. It was a very long time coming.
I've been on a diet of watery soup, moldy bread, and maggots, so yeah, I've been dreaming about breadsticks and lasagna, I'm assuming. So I've been dreaming about something else?
You tell me.
Scored with the show's usual 80s-inspired synthesizer, it's a magical and surprisingly passionate kiss. It was a great moment because both of them had grown so much in that time, together and apart, and were much better than when we first met them.
And after that?
I don't know.
Use your imagination.
Number 23, Buffy Summers and Spike, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Couples and relationships can be a hot topic among fans. That's especially true for Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Buffy fans can probably be divided into camps based on which vampire they wanted Buffy Summers to end up with.
The day you suss out what you do want, there'll probably be a parade. 76 bloody trombones.
Angel was her first love on the show, but the leather-clad, peroxided vampire Spike entered the race halfway through the series run. They technically locked lips in season 5, but no, the Buffy bot doesn't count. It wasn't until season 6's classic musical episode that the two finally had their first real kiss. Their embrace closed out the show, leaving viewers dazed by the entire episode and foaming at the mouth to see how things would pick up the next week.
Where do we go from here?
Number 22, Michonne and Rick Grimes, The Walking Dead. You'd think a band of survivors trying to outrun a horde of walkers wouldn't have much time for romance, but then you wouldn't have much of a show if they didn't.
You want to tell me about your day?
No. Same thing.
Well, you found a guy?
Fans of the comics knew Michonne was coming, but they didn't necessarily know her introduction would result in a pairing with the show's protagonist, Rick Grimes. However, fans didn't get to see them act on their attraction for 3 seasons. In an uncharacteristically warm episode, the two begin to kiss while sitting on the sofa after sharing the adventures of an average day in a post-apocalyptic landscape.
Oh, so you had a day.
Yeah. All on account of your dental hygiene.
Number 21, Gil Grissom and Sarah Seidel, CSI Crime Scene Investigation. Few had it quite as hard as the CSI fandom. Having kept their relationship hidden from their colleagues, crime scene investigators Gil Grissom and Sarah Seidel's first on-screen kiss was probably one of the most gut-wrenching ever.
That just makes this worse. I can't talk about this right now. I can't.
Sarah, having lost her passion and drive for the job, kisses her now fiancé Grissom goodbye and departs the crime lab. The two would eventually marry, break up, and get back together. But most of their romantic relationship would be played off screen after actors William Peterson and Georgia Fox's roles as part of the cast changed. Their return in the 2021 follow-up series was a welcome look into their dynamic as a married couple.
We weren't really that worried about the ring.
It just felt like a battle.
Number 20, Maddie Hayes and David Addison. Moonlighting. Look, we're not saying the Blue Moon Detective Agency invented the long-simmering workplace romance, but Maddie Hayes and David Addison probably perfected the trope.
You know, that's what I like about this place. You learn something new every day.
Would you get serious?
Maddie, I just have my hand on your behind. If I get any more serious, they're gonna move us to cable.
Inspired by screwball comedies and murder mysteries, the show cast Bruce Willis and Sybil Shepherd, proving opposites really do attract. The dramedy constantly teased us with fantasy kisses throughout its episodes. However, when the constantly bickering pair gave in to their feelings in season 2, it was a painful case that finally gave viewers what they wanted. It was a thrilling and sad moment between the two.
You tell me, what was that?
What do you mean you tell me? It wasn't me, it was you.
I didn't do it, you did it.
I did not do it.
Well, I did not do it.
Well, if you did not do it and I did not do it, I guess it didn't happen.
Number 19, Joey Potter and Pacey Witter. Dawson's Creek. Though technically they share a brief peck early on in season 1, these two wouldn't discover their true feelings for each other until the 3rd season.
The hostility, the way they're wary with each other, not to mention the constant bickering and name-calling. Now, these two clearly are in the early stages of some screwball mating ritual.
What? These two start out as enemies, with Dawson really being the only thing connecting them. But over time, they become confidants, then friends, and then something more. Without even realizing it, they become each other's soulmates. And in a moment where Pacey can't hold his feelings in anymore, he kisses Joey, changing their relationship forever.
Don't you ever get tired of talking?
No,
Well,
I don't
get
get
tired.
tired. Well, I don't know.
I don't want to talk anymore.
What are you trying to say,
Joe,
Pacey?
I don't
Why
wanna-
are we standing? I don't.
It might have only taken most of the way through season 3 for these two to finally lock lips, but if you watched this relationship build through seasons 2 and 3, it felt like a lifetime. Number 18, Jess Day and Nick Miller, New Girl. Similar to Joey and Pacey, if we're talking straight episode count, this one doesn't take too long at all to manifest. We got this first kiss halfway through the 2nd season, but also like Joey and Pacey, the tension between these two was so palpable that it felt like forever for this to finally happen.
Good night, Nick.
Good night.
The chemistry between them was so intense, in fact, that Jake Johnson and Zooey Deschanel were told not to touch during filming.
I think we actually legitimately fought against it for a long time.
I mean, really, really hard. You guys fought against it. We would be like, so, do you want to go over there? Don't touch it.
Cece saw it from the very beginning. She tries to hook up Nick and Jess very early on, but the show made us wait in anticipation. Number 17, Kate Beckett and Richard Castle. Castle. No matter how much animosity Beckett has for Castle in the beginning, these two have an obvious chemistry. Castle is always out to win Beckett's heart, but in season 1, Beckett is all business.
This whole bad boy charm thing that you've got going might work for bimbettes and celebutantes. Me? I work for a living, so that makes you one of two things in my world. Either the guy who makes my life easier, or the guy who makes my life harder.
She's not at all responsive to his romantic attempts, and even tries to have Castle removed as her partner. But in season 2, their relationship begins to soften, and we could see mutual feelings begin to blossom. Then, finally in season 3, Castle and Beckett finally share their first kiss. It may have just been part of a plan to help their friends, but let's be honest, we all knew it was something more. Number 16, Leo Fitz and Gemma Simmons, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. These two literally traveled through space and time, losing each other and finding each other again and again. They obviously had chemistry from the very beginning.
When did you become so sun-kissed? Because I'm pretty sure that every minute of every day you've been stuck in a lab right beside me. At the academy, at PsyOps, this plane. You've been beside me the whole damn time.
They'd been partners ever since the academy, but as the show went on, it became more and more clear that there was something deeper between them than friendship. We watched as their feelings blossomed through insurmountable obstacles. They defeated deadly viruses, battled Inhumans, and even survived at the bottom of the ocean all together. Their first kiss came in a moment of desperation where they just couldn't hold in their feelings anymore.
You dove through a hole in the universe for me!
Number 15, Ziva David and Tony DiNozzo, NCIS. This one was a long, slow burn. These two don't even meet until season 3, when Ziva first joins the team. It takes them until season 11 to finally lock lips for real, but their first mission together involves them pretending to be a married couple.
Oh, I'm sorry. Your instincts were right.
Even the actors knew right from then that their characters were in a love story, and the fans were right there with them. We all waited 8 seasons for them to finally come together, and it was a goodbye kiss. It took another long wait to see them reunited. Number 14, Dwayne Wayne and Whitley Gilbert, A Different World. Towards the beginning of A Different World, the idea of romance isn't really on Dwayne or Whitley's mind, but it certainly was on the audience's. As the show went on, the chemistry between the two was undeniable.
Well, it certainly is good to see a familiar face. Although you don't look all that familiar.
Oh, my suit. Well, I was in Toronto on business.
Dwayne might not have been the type of guy Whitley would usually go for. He didn't have the rich guy look, he wasn't on the finance or business track, but he was the only guy who cared to get to know her, and that's what really matters.
Well, looks like we're all done.
No, we're not.
Well, what's left?
Plus, both of these characters dated and loved other people before coming together. They knew themselves and knew what they wanted, which made them perfect for each other, and made this kiss worth the wait.
Oh, whoa. One more thing.
What?
I love you too.
Number 13, Damon Salvatore and Elena Gilbert, The Vampire Diaries. As soon as Elena quite literally ran into Damon in the second episode of the series, Vampire Diaries fans were hooked. Their love triangle with Stefan dragged on, and while there were small nuggets here and there, such as Elena chastely pecking Damon as he lay dying, the two didn't officially kiss until season 3. At the time, Damon and Elena were working to get Stefan back from Klaus, and Stefan and Elena were still together.
Klaus is trying to send us a message. He wants us to find Stefan, who stole his coffins full of his dead family members.
Coffins?
Yep.
Though Damon still considered Elena his brother's girl, hello patriarchy, he kissed her, knowing she would go back to Stefan in the end.
If I'm gonna feel guilty about something, I'm gonna feel guilty about this.
It still took another season for these two to get together, but we appreciated this kiss in the meantime. Number 12, Lucifer Morningstar and Chloe Decker, Lucifer. These two start off with that classic opposites attract, buddy cop type of relationship. Chloe is pretty straight-laced and by the book, and Lucifer is, well, Lucifer.
You got some balls on you, pal.
Oh, thank you very much, but they're really quite average.
I bet.
Are you sure that we haven't met? I could swear I've seen you naked. Have we had sex?
Similar to Castle and Beckett's relationship, Lucifer clearly likes Chloe from early on, but Chloe remains skeptical of his intentions. Though he's straight up with her about who he really is, Chloe naturally doesn't believe him. But slowly their trust grows and they become real partners and true friends. Eventually, just when Lucifer is ready to give up hope that Chloe would ever see him as anything more, she flips the script and plants one on him.
You're probably right.
Detective.
This might have only taken halfway through season 2 to happen, but we were all longing for this one since they first met. Number 11, Patrick Jane and Teresa Lisbon, The Mentalist. What's with these partner duos? They just can't seem to keep their hands off each other. At least, not for long, but definitely long enough. Out of 7 long seasons of this show, these two don't give in to their romantic tension until the finale of season 6.
I love you. Woo, you can't imagine how good that feels to say out loud, but it scares me. And it is the truth.
At the start of the show, Jane is still recovering from the death of his wife, so it seemed unlikely that anything romantic would materialize between the two partners. Yet over time, the attraction between them becomes more and more obvious. In a Ross and Rachel type move, Jane finally admits his feelings for Lisbon just as she's about to leave to take a new job. She initially rejects him, but comes back and kisses him. Number 10, Seeley Booth and Dr. Temperance Bones Brennan, Bones. Yet another partnership team-up relationship to add to the list. It's obvious from the beginning that these two would eventually get together.
I'm the gambler. I believe in giving this a chance. Look, I want to give this a shot.
Even their co-workers think there's something going on between them. One of them, Sweets, even writes a book about their relationship. Yet we still had to wait through 5 seasons and 100 episodes of sexual tension, overprotectiveness, and even jealousy between them before finally seeing Booth and Bones kiss. After reminiscing on their first case together to help Sweets with his book, Booth finally builds up the courage to tell Bones how he feels.
You mean us? No, the FBI won't let us work together.
Don't do that. That is no reason.
It's a bittersweet moment since Bones is not ready to reciprocate, but we all knew this was only the beginning. Number 9, Anne Shirley Cuthbert and Gilbert Blythe, Anne with an E.
I have a very good imagination, so I just had to be sure this is real.
Anne, I have to know. Do you truly have feelings for me?
Ah, young love. It may have taken until the series finale of this short-lived show for them to kiss, but it was well worth the wait. Gilbert clearly likes Anne from the very first time they meet. On the first day of school, Gilbert saves Anne from a kid that's harassing her and asks if she had any dragons that needed slaying, implying that he wants to be her Prince Charming.
You're welcome. Need anything else? Any dragons around here need slaying?
No, thank you.
Who are you?
After that, Gilbert relentlessly tries to get Anne's attention, which proves elusive. But eventually the two become friends and fall in love. Their first kiss may have been a long wait, but it was like a fairy tale. Number 8, Brienne of Tarth and Jaime Lannister, Game of Thrones. Let's just ignore everything that happens in the last few episodes of Game of Thrones and only remember the good times, like when these two finally locked lips. Jaime and Brienne didn't start off on the best of terms. Honestly, there probably aren't worse terms two people could start on.
Why should I care how you die?
You swore a solemn vow, remember? You're supposed to get me to King's Landing in one piece. Not going so well, is it?
But throughout the show, their respect for each other grew. Jaime trusted Brienne enough to tell her the true story behind the Mad King's death, and Brienne's honor inspired Jaime to be the knight he always longed to be. Season 8 definitely lacks high points, but the scene where Jaime knights Brienne is one of the best in the show's history.
Arise, Brienne of Tarth, a knight of the 7 kingdoms.
And their long-awaited kiss was pretty great too.
I've never slept with anyone before.
Then you have to drink. Those are the rules.
I told you.
Number 7, Stiles Stilinski and Lydia Martin, Teen Wolf. This one was not just a slow burn for us, but for Stiles as well. Stiles has harbored an unrequited love for Lydia since the 3rd grade. Lydia, on the other hand, hasn't even seemed to notice he was alive.
That is freaking awesome. I mean, this is seriously gonna be the best thing that's happened to this town since the birth of Lydia Martin. Hey, Lydia. You look like you're gonna ignore me.
That is, until things start getting all mystical and magical in their lives. Over time, Lydia starts to see just how deeply Stiles cares about her, and she starts to care back. When Stiles is suffering from an intense panic attack, Lydia kisses him as a way to calm him down. At the time, it may have been little more than a distraction, but later on, even Lydia admits that that was the moment everything changed between them.
When I kissed him, that's when it all changed.
Number 6. Donna Paulson and Harvey Specter. Suits. When it comes to workplace romance, these two might take the cake for the longest wait time. Fans waited 7 seasons for these two to finally take the plunge, although they would have to wait a whole other season for them to actually get together. But even though it took them forever to get there romantically, these two always had each other's backs. Actor Gabriel Macht even called the pair each other's other half.
I don't know how to say this.
Just say it, darling. What?
Your dad, he had a heart attack.
He's right. Whether it was working on a case or being there for each other emotionally, like when Harvey's dad died, these two were basically in a relationship already, just minus the physical part.
Where's Lewis? Because I have some news, and I think you should both.
And boy, are we glad they added the physical part. Number 5. Luke Danes and Lorelai Gilmore. Gilmore Girls. Quick banter and obscure pop culture references a happy couple make. Fans knew from the start that Luke and Lorelai had something special. They're the epitome of opposites attract. He's surly, she's perky, she's a caffeine addict, he runs a diner that sells coffee. It's the perfect match.
This is a coffee morning.
Every morning for you is a coffee morning.
This is a jumbo coffee morning. I need coffee and an IV.
I give you tea and a balance bar.
But the showrunners dragged this obviously perfect couple out for 4 long seasons before fans got that much anticipated first kiss.
This could be a totally innocent situation, and then we've done all this what-ifing for nothing. Let's just go back in there and see if anything's weird, okay? Okay.
Is everything okay?
Yes.
In typical Gilmore Girls fashion, the build-up to the moment is hilarious and witty. Lorelai's attempts to figure out if Luke is serious towards her are a hoot, and the culminating moment is absolute perfection.
What are you doing?
Will you just stand still?
Number 4. Clark Kent and Lois Lane. Smallville. There have been many iterations of Clark Kent and Lois Lane, but these two might win the award for the most screen time without a smooch. Lois didn't make it onto the show until season 4, but when she did, the chemistry she had with Clark was undeniable.
Wait. Who are you?
Lois. Lois Lane.
Of course, the showrunners made fans wait until season 9 for that chemistry to finally come to fruition, all while making Clark navigate his superhero life without letting Lois in on his secret. These two had smaller kisses before, but whether it was Clark masquerading as Green Arrow or a run-in with Red Kryptonite, something always made those kisses feel a little less official than this one, which is why it's perfect.
I never should have tried out in the first place or dragged you there with me, and I just...
Number 3. Josh Lyman and Donna Moss. The West Wing.
Hi.
Hi.
Who are you?
I'm Donna Moss. Who are you?
I'm Josh Lyman.
Ah.
Yes.
I'm your new assistant.
Of course, the polls could be the only thing to heighten the tension and finally push these two lovebirds over the hump. It's hard to imagine the West Wing without Josh and Donna, but the relationship almost never existed. Janelle Maloney was only hired for one scene in the first episode, the scene where she brings Josh coffee. Apparently, the chemistry between the two actors was so off the charts, producers hired her on as a regular. 7 seasons and much political banter later, the two finally kissed in the wake of a campaign victory. Ah, the romance of politics. Number 2, Dana Scully and Fox Mulder. The X-Files. Talk about making us wait for it. Scully and Mulder may as well have invented the idea of the slow romantic burn. Ever since the beginning, the tension, both positive and negative, between these two could cut a knife.
If you have any doubt about my qualifications or credentials...
You're a medical doctor. You teach at the academy. You did your undergraduate degree in physics. Einstein's twin paradox, a new interpretation. Dana Scully's senior thesis. Now that's a credential, rewriting Einstein.
It may have had something to do with Gillian Anderson and David Duchovny's reported less than friendly relationship while filming, which could have had a hand in creating sparks on camera. But don't worry, the two are good friends now. Tension aside, after 143 episodes, our favorite alien-hunting, crime-fighting duo finally locked lips. And at the turn of the century, no less. Fitting. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Niles Crane and Daphne Moon, Frasier.
Daphne, this is my brother Niles.
From the first time Niles laid eyes on Daphne, he was smitten. But he was married at the time, so yeah, he couldn't really do anything about it. But even after Niles' marriage ended, it took a long time for this relationship to come to fruition. The lists of almosts for these two is too long to count. From the pair's explosive tango at the ball, to the Seattle heatwave fiasco, to Niles losing his nerve time and time again.
I can't imagine what you must be thinking. Me barging in, asking to spend the night.
Well, gee, I'm just thinking so many things.
But all the near misses made it all that more satisfying when the two finally did the deed. Kissed, that is.
You know, a lot of times.
Oh, for God's sake, Dr. Crane.
What TV kiss did you wait a lifetime for? Let us know in the comments.
Live for today. Go for it, Sam. I tell you, go for it. Are you okay?
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.